other acceptance. Give them love. Don't matter what you look like. No matter what you believe. But just believe in love.
You're listening to Chill Your Mind Radio.
Going on, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday's night stream. Let's jump in it real quick. I know a couple people messaged me and said they were running a little late, so no biggie. We're gonna get started. Yeah. I threw the cam on tonight, so we'll see how it goes, man. I just finished some dinner too, so Zach's session went a little long. So if you guys didn't tune into it, man, that was he threw down some good trades or some good setups. So we'll go over some of them. I had the same markups on some of them. So we'll go right into it. Let's you know what? Let me share. Let me move this down here. Let's share. There we go. Bam. All right. So real quick, I know everybody's already. It's Tuesday, so we all should have gotten into the. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're going to talk about gold. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about gold, my man. Let's, everyone should already be hooked up into what the news is. Really, the only thing I'm worrying about is tomorrow's Australian news. And then whatever we get for where are we at? Bear with me here. Oh, you know what? Because I'm not logged into my account. That's why. Son of a gun. Yeah, the only thing I'm really worried about right here is the Australia news down here. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, right in here. This is the only thing I'm worried about for tomorrow. All right, tomorrow night. That's all I'm really worried about is the Australian news. So I'm looking at some Australian pairs because we're going to get some volatility. All right. Thursday, it is what it is. Unemployment data is going to come out. That'll move some indices and we'll take a look at it. But that's pretty much for the most part it. All right. If you guys are looking at anything, throw it in the chat. We'll open it up and look at it. I'm going to run through the pairs I'm looking at. I'll tell you right now, it's been a frustrating as hell week for me. I had four USD CAD break evens while I was trying to get the accumulation on it. I even got in on one that was with the spread. It was a one pip spread. And it was actually in here. It was right in here. It was a 1 pip spread. I was up. I'll go over it. I'll show it to you guys, but I was up 23 pips. And then I went to bed and the thing came down during London and I tried grabbing it again, got stopped out at break even down in here on this last wick. And then look what happened, man. I was fuming. So we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. We'll look at UCAD here. I'm going to pull up all the all the charts too that I've taken this week, and we'll get into it. If you guys can learn something from it, absolutely. Um, I don't consider myself to be, the greatest trader in the world. I'm an average trader in my opinion. I'm just really profitable because of my risk management, right? And I know a lot of people have asked me about how I hedge. Honestly, that's just something I really back tested and had to learn. And that's honestly protected a lot of my trades. All right. So we'll get into it. Let's talk about USD CAD, right? So I know I had mentioned this on Sunday's call. We were looking at on the 4 hour, right? We're looking at a really nice accumulation that's happening here, right? I wouldn't call it as nice as like UJ, but the change of characters happened here, right? We came into for a secondary test, traded to the top end of the trading range, came down for a secondary test in phase B. All right. So from that point, right, I've just been trying to buy the market to at least, and you can see I have my 50% of the trading range, right, to at least 50% of the trading range. Okay, that's initially, oh, for the love, that's initially where I want to see us at least trade to. If I can get up to these equal highs, even better. All right. Um, so let's fast forward now to where we're currently at market price, and you'll see that we've been accumulating. All right. You know, I, I I don't even know why I did it this morning, but I jumped on. I don't even think I did it on purpose. I think I was just like tired, and I jumped on another educator's stream this morning, and they were talking about this morning being here that they were shorting USD CAD, and I just didn't see it. For me, I knew we were going to get the impulse. I knew we were going to get the longs on it. In here was a perfect accumulation schematic. We just didn't get it. It just didn't want to go. Whether Sam needs to do a little better job of getting the spies out of our group, so that I can get through, some of my trades without them breaking even. But I'll go over it. I'll show you right here what I was looking at. Let's see. Oh no, okay, this was last week. All right, this was that reaccumulation. Okay, so yeah, that was all this reaccumulation in here. All right, so where I was looking. All right, so I haven't moved it over yet. All right, so let's just go. Man, there's got to be. I don't even know how many damn charts there are. There are 18 slides, right? 18 slides of me trying to get this stupid thing. All right. So yeah, and if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to go pretty slow with it, but everyone, I kind of, this is one of the things I like to do when I'm journaling so that I can go back and almost like I chalk it up to like, if you played football, going through like the playbooks and all the different, the films of breaking down the technique and where defenses were or where offenses were, you know, in real time. So you can see, like, I just do timestamps with it. This was the original on the 5 minute coming in. This was New York session afternoon time, right? Obviously we had a really nice reaction off of preliminary support here. And then this was our first change of character, right? So obviously it came into a point of interest. You could see my 30-minute open, right? We had a 30-minute open candle. And actually that's ideally where prices kind of stayed, right? You could see the 30-minute open candle right here, the last down candle before the huge move, right? So I know, I want to say maybe Jordan or somebody was looking for bounce back, was looking at taking that trade, and they actually did, but they only took it to these equal highs, right? So if you would have just taken it off the 30-minute, right, to the equal highs, that was, almost a 3-to-1. If you took it on that first go, that was about 37 pips. So it was almost it was a little over a 3.5 to 1. Okay. Um, I wanted to crunch the stop loss, and I knew that we were going to get, especially with the higher time frame bias, I knew that these were going to be my targets up here. And then essentially this line right here is the 50% of the trading range. Okay. Um, so just kind of fast forwarding back to where we were at, oh, there it is right there. There's a 30-minute, right? You could see we have that nice reaction. And this is ideally when you see me talk about, like, I put the box in and I go, I want to see accumulation here. This is what I want to see. I want to see us to start to build, because when you see a schematic, that just gives you such a high probability that the trade is going to come through fruition. Um, because the schematic isn't done by retail traders, right? Me throwing my whatever 7 or 8 standard lots on this trade isn't going to build a schematic. What's happening is you have a large institution or large institutions that are now coming in to see if there's enough interest to take this market higher. All right, for whatever reason, whether they're hedging out of here, and now this trading range, what it is, it's essentially their hedges, right? Their buys and sells that they're opening and closing to ensure that there's enough interest to take the market higher, because ultimately they don't like to lose, right? Um, you guys have all seen like the videos where you can go on any of these big institutions and get their forms from the SEC that they have to report. And like some of these, they're out of 300 like I think 20 days of trading in a year, they only take like 2 days of losses. All right. So that's why. All right. That's why schematics are so key. So obviously, here's the schematic that I jumped in. A beautiful preliminary support. Finally, whether this was going to be a preliminary support or not, I just kept moving it down. Selling climax. This was our first change of character, secondary test. I did measure. You could see right from the secondary test in B. I did measure the trading range, and we did trade exactly to 50%. Okay, so once I measured this and I saw that there at 50%, I said, all right. So if we drop and we had some equal lows here, the minute liquidity was taken, and I had this area right here, and we broke above it, that's where I was going to take the entry. So these 3 candles were the volume that took liquidity. So I obviously that's a minute time frame, right? So I did 1, 2, 3, 3 minute candle. I took 50% of the 3 minute. It was a 2.3 pip stop loss. And you could see we got in it and then immediately got the very nice reaction I wanted to see. All right. Obviously it was very short lived because the stupid thing came right back down. And if you look at it, this is one of the things I know. I think King had asked whether time of day and session are important. They are. Um, I like to trade USD CAD, and if you notice right at the top here, this happened at 9:09 Eastern time, so Asian session for me. I can go back and I can because I know vividly because my trading partner always tells me this. He refuses. He is very stringent in his rules that he does not trade during Sydney or Asian, only London or New York session. However, he's lost out on a lot of USD CAD trades because a lot of my orders I picked up, especially in the small time frame, on accumulation. I've picked it up right here off of Asian session. All right. So understanding, your pairs that you trade and at what time they like to do things. I call it the Asian manipulation. And that's what happened, right? We got it here. It sucked because I really wanted this one to be the one to go. Obviously, here stops to break even. I was up 7.5 pips. All right. And then it comes right back down, especially after breaking structure. All right. So as soon as it came right back down, I was going to give it another attempt. And you can see I took it off of the 1 minute candle now, and I got in. All right. This was I believe it was like a 1.5 pip stop loss. Came in and I wanted to see the immediate reaction. And sure enough, I got it. Right. Immediate reaction. I wanted to see us break above this high, right? Because at this point, structure on the 1 minute was still being held up by this, but I wanted us to break above it, right? I wanted that confirmation that we were going to break above it. And I was going to be very happy because this was again a pip and a half stop loss. All right. Obviously, at this point, I'm up, like a 4-1. I'm going to go to break even, right? So I minimized my risk. Instead of coming right here to break even, I just brought it up to here, right? I reduced it by half because you still have this inefficiency right here, right? The imbalance that is created in here. So the price market could come right back to there and reprice this like this and then continue up. So, at that point, I just minimized my risk and let it play out. All right. And then you can see, right? This is what happened during London session. All right. I was up, it never came back, right? This was the entry, right? And we got very nice movement, right? I was up we'll call it 24 pips, right? 24 pips on with the spread, it was a 2.2 pip stop loss. So I was up 10 to 1. You could see right here, that's AN. You can see right here, this is London Open, right? This is the London Open right here. I did get up for it and I was at break even. I actually moved my stop loss just under here, right here. Okay. And then what I did was I took 25% off of this at London Open. I took 25% off. All right. So, I had 75% left running. And then when this shenanigans happened right here while I was asleep, break even, right? Stop profited out. So at least I was able to take some profits. I mean, it still was, realistically, I should have, I knew we were going to go higher. I know a couple people were giving me grief. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And, yeah, you just got to believe in what you're doing, right? You have to understand what's happening, and that gives you the confidence to do this, right? So that was the second stupid entry I took. I'm trying to think. Okay, so here was the third one I took. So the third one I took, actually no, that was yeah. So here's the third one I took. So that entire shenanigans right here happened here. And then you could see I took 50% of this 5-minute candle, stop loss just below that. Went in it, obviously we've broken some structure and my target was right up here, this high. So 37 pips is what I was targeting. It was going to be almost a 15 to 1. Got the immediate reaction that I wanted to see. I would have liked us to take in this high, right? To maintain structure at this point. I went to break even and you'll see, all right, that's just going off the 30-minute. So right here, I went to break even. I was up 16 pips. The market comes back and this is one of the things, and I know a lot of you have asked about this. So I'm okay with covering a small loss. I don't care about my winning percentage, right? So like I laugh even on my FTMO account, like my winning percentage is like 51% or something like that, because I go to exact break even, right? I went to exact break even. So even if this would have hit me out, I would have had to have paid my commission fees, which would have been like 40 something bucks. All right. It's like, so on most pairs, it's like $7 per standard lot. All right. I don't mind doing that because I don't want to be, I didn't want to get like a pip up in profit, this come down like this and then take off, right? I didn't want that. So ultimately I was at break even here. Oh, hold on. Bear with me. I hit the wrong button. All right, there we go. All right, we're back. So I went to break even there and then you can see what happens, right? The market just takes off, right? Just takes off. And what I was potentially looking at was another reentry off this 2-minute candle, right? I did get stopped out. I don't know if you guys can see that from, right? This was the low right here. I was at break even at 30.67, right? 30.67 is right here. And the market came back. And so this was my entry right here. The market comes back, hits me out at break even realistically. And then this is why I was a little sour today. That's why I was a little sour because it did that. Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. I can't, it is what it is, man. I was just pissed because I knew exactly what this thing was doing. I knew where we were going to go with it. So I even had a 50 EMA. I'm not a big moving average person, but I just wanted to see what retail traders were looking at. I was looking at potentially taking a second entry off of this 15-minute. We just never really came back to it. It wasn't a demand zone. All right. So that's UCAD, right? So what am I looking at now for UCAD? So there's two scenarios. Okay. Bam. All right. Yeah, there's two scenarios, right? I'm still long on it. I still want to go long on it. All right. The scenario is if we maintain structure and do not create a new high, right? If we do not go above this high, which I'm hoping we just come here and start fluttering like this, okay, then my entry is right here, okay? It is the 5:15 and H1 open, all right? You can see the 1 hour candle right here. The 15-minute candle is the same candle, and then the 5-minute right here. Okay. So I'll be looking at an entry off of that, right? It would be an LPS entry. Okay. Because we have broken out of the trading range. Okay. If we create a new high, right? If we create a new high, which it damn well looks like we're going to, what my play is this, right? My play is off of this 15-minute candle right here. Okay. The reason it's off of that 15-minute candle, if we go to the 30-minute, right, you could see the market came back, and essentially this would be the LPS right here. All right. Market comes back, trades up, and then back into the open of this candle, right? So you could see that right there, how this 30-minute candle, we shoot up, trade back into the base of it, and then trade up. So my entry is going to be essentially off this 15-minute candle. All right. 15-minute candle, I think it's like a 6-pip stop. Yeah, 8 pip. It's about 8.5 pip stop, which isn't what I wanted, but it is what it is. If we break this new high, so I'm not going to do anything with it right now. Obviously, the move has happened already during Asian, so I'm going to wait for that wherever we trade during London. And again, I'm going to be looking off of this 15-minute candle, right? There's really, I know there's a little bit of imbalance below it, but on the 30-minute, it was a clean trade into the base of the candle. All right. So that's ultimately what I'm looking at. Now my targets, right? My targets are coming above these highs and into this line right here is 50% of the trading range. Okay. And then I'm going to reevaluate what we're going to do after that. Okay. But ideally, right? Ideally on the 4-hour time frame, like what do I envision is going to happen? It's going to be one of two things, right? We are going to come up to 50%, create a spring, right? Break structure right here, mitigate out of whatever institutional candle we have, and then we're going to take it up higher, right? Or we're just going to trade outside of the trading range, right? Break out, come back into an LPS entry and go up. All right. Yeah, AN. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We'll take a look at AN right now. Okay, but that's what I'm looking at for UCAD. Okay. Anybody have any questions on UCAD? It's honestly a pretty clean schematic if you know what you're seeing. All right. If you know what you're seeing. Yep. Perfect. All right. Real quick, let's go to AN because I'm getting alerts on it too. All right. AN. All right. So are you planning on taking it off of this candle right here? Off that 15? Yep. All right. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm looking at for AN, right? So remember I talk about logical areas, right? So this was accumulation last week. That was really nice accumulation that I bought up. And what we have now is we're getting our shakeout, right? It makes no sense for this to be distribution. Not only that, but we really didn't get an upthrust. We didn't get a UTAD. So this here is just a bunch of hocus pocus, right? Retail traders, what are they thinking? It's consolidating. Look, what happened? We just broke out. Okay. We broke out. So most traders are doing what, right? Remember, I used to trade the same thing, break and retest, right? Break, retest, we're going down, right? That's not going to be the case. Okay. That's not going to be the case. What's going to happen is this is our shakeout, right? This is going to take everybody that was buying off of this support here out of the market. Okay. It's going to entice sellers who have sell stops set. And then anybody who's doing break and retest is going to get into this as well. All right. So there is a really nice open candle right here. It's the last down candle left in the final step of the accumulation, right? The original accumulation. It's off the 15-minute. All right. Stop loss my personal opinion is my stop loss is going to be just below the wick, right? You don't need to cover anything down here because this has all been mitigated out of, right? This is the last point of interest. So if it goes below this wick, then the bias is wrong. Okay. The bias is wrong. So this is what I'm personally looking at right here off this 15. Stop just below the wick. So make sure you understand what your spread is on AN. I know on my personal broker, my AN spread is like 3 pips. But on my FTMO account, it's only like 9 pipettes, right? So you just got to understand what your risk is. So about 6.5 pips is what you need plus your spread. And then where are we taking this? It's AN. So be prepared to be in this for a while because it moves slow as a slug. But these are overall, this is where I'd like to take it right up here. Okay. Ideally, I don't think, that's realistic for this short a time period, right? Because that took an entire week to do right here. All right. So this is potentially going to be an all week thing. Yeah. You got to account for the spread. And I know I've said it before. Does the spread change every time? So, I mean, all right, if you have a class, real quick, right? If you have a class A broker, all right, which is typically your regulated brokers, and you'll know they're a class A broker because when you go to their, like their legal jargon, they'll tell you in there that they do not take the opposite side of your trades. All right. So if they're not taking the opposite side of your trades, they're a class A broker and they do not manipulate the spreads. A class B broker, which is like Hugo's Way, CoinEx, a lot of these unregulated brokers are class B and they can widen the spread. That's why, like, if price starts to move very quickly, and it's at like, say, a pip of a spread and all of a sudden it goes to 5 pips, that's an issue, right? That's an issue. And that's what they're doing is they're manipulating the spreads. All right. So yeah, you have to, and I personally have an ECN account, so I pay a commission for all of my entries. And I'm okay with that, right? I would rather pay to have a smaller spread than to have, a wide spread with no payment. All right. Because at the end of the day, the way this trading, the way you trade smart money concepts, you want those 1, 2, 3 pip stop losses. All right. You need them. And I'm okay with paying the $7 per standard. All right. So again, what I'm looking at, entry off the 15, stop loss just below the wick. And ideally, I mean, my first take profit area that I would like to see is whatever happened in this candle. Cause there was some manipulation. So ideally, take profit 3 is going to be way up here for me. But somewhere in here is going to be where we're going to get a reaction from the market. And I'm just going to come here real quick and just see what happened. Yeah. So this 5-minute, does that change over time? No. All right. So that 5-minute candle is going to be where, ideally I'm going to look to take some first partials, 90 pips. It's a nice little 13, almost 14 to 1. Okay. So that's ideally where I want to take it. Okay. That's what it's going to look like. Bear with me because I'm just going to screenshot this so that I can have it for my journal. Okay. Bam. Yeah, absolutely, man. FXCM on TradingView is ridiculous right now. The crap that they're doing. Yep. And it throws your analysis off. So that's what I'm looking at for AN. I'm going to throw this in as well. Bear with me here though. Hold on. Let me just throw it in real quick because I didn't have the pending set. Come on. Come on. There we go. bear with me. What is my spread? Spread right now on AN is 1 pip, so 7.5, 8.5. All right, so I'm going to go 8.5. Yeah. Yep. All right, so, I'm just going to go to 9. Give it a little extra room. All right, so 4.03. All right, bear with me here. Let me just throw it in. All right, 7.360. What the heck? Yeah, see on my broker, that candle goes all the way to 6.0. All right, whatever. I'm just going to go off a 7.3 entry and we'll make do. All right, AN 7.3. 6.4. And then I'm looking at seeing if we can ride this. Okay. All right. That's in. All right. Sorry. Can't wait to be able to put an account size. So I just used it for, this is my FTMO account because it's a 100K account. My personal account is a little larger, but I only trade my personal account during New York session, and I only look for like 1 or 2 trades just because that's all I really need on that account. I live off the FTMO account now. So all right, man, absolutely. I'm gonna I'll post this on YouTube once it's done, man, if you got any questions on it. So all right, so that's AN. Let's move on, right? So OddCAD pissed me off, man. I'm not even looking at OddCAD right now. So I would like to see if we react off of this though. Let me just go down the list here. Odd Chef I was looking to sell Odd Chef. The distro just really never happened, right? Didn't happen like I wanted it. So that goes into that pile. AN is active. Okay. So a secondary entry on AN, right? Secondary entry on AN would be, because I am thinking about this is going to be reaccumulation. So what I would like to see, let me just move that down there. What I want to see is I want to see us now jump this creek, right? So essentially, I'm going to put an alert on that trend line. Okay. And, oh, for the love, I ran out of alerts. Hold on. I don't need XRP. Okay. And I don't need this one. So essentially, right, I'm looking for the jump of the creek and then whatever happens in here. So I'm looking for whatever shakeout this is. So probably like the hour candle is what I'll look at or something like that. But I want to see us now jump the creek. A re-entry will be somewhere in here to take it higher. Okay. But I won't know the re-entry until we jump the creek because then we'll have to look at what price action did here. Okay. Yeah, I know, man. Listen, one of these days I'm going to upgrade to the second time frame. I'll do it. That way you can have I think it's like 100 alerts. Um, I just, yeah, I haven't done it yet because they only credit you for what you have. And I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I'm looking at SP. Yeah. I'll go over it. So AU is another one I'm looking at, and AU is actually getting pretty close as well. So there's 2 schools of thought, right? Or 2 things. And this, Zach went over this on his session. There's obviously distribution in here. And I was looking at distribution, right? On, what is this? This is forex.com on a Wanda. Yeah. So I was looking at distribution on like a 5-minute. Okay. Yeah. but we never came back for the LPSY, right? We never came back because I wanted to sell into the buy. All right. Um, so at this point, right? At this point, I got to go with the higher time frame, right? So on the higher time frame, we're reaccumulating. All right. This is reaccumulation, and this is going to be the LPS entry off of this 1 hour candle. All right. It's the 1 hour and the 30-minute open, right? It's the same candle. Okay, same candle. So I'm looking at taking an entry off of this right here. Okay. And I know we have some imbalance here, but this is that last down candle. Okay. The only thing that I'm a little leery of is this is the 5 p.m. candle. And then this happened at 6. So no, I'm gonna put an order in. What I was waiting for, Brendan, was I didn't know if we were gonna come to the LPSY first, because if we came here, right? If we came here, then I wanted to sell it down, right? But now that we're coming here first, I want to take this higher. All right. I want to take this up to this 2020 high, or at the very minimum, mitigate this daily imbalance. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. Um, so yeah, I'm looking at this. I just don't like how it's falling right now prior to Asian Open. You know what I mean? Um, I'm gonna set the yeah. See, I'm not gonna put an order in yet. I just want to see what happens when we get there. Because my issue is this. This price action happened at 5 o'clock. Let me get into the volume profile. Hold on. Let's just see. I want to see what exactly is in this. Well, where is it? Let's see. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Always account for the spread on both the entry and the stop loss, because like just say hypothetically, right? The entry here is at 72,685. And if you don't account for, say, the 1 pip stop loss or 1 pip spread for the buy, and it comes right here, you're technically you won't get filled, right? Um, and then if you don't account for the 1 pip spread down here, if it does come down, and it's got a 1 pip spread prior to actually hitting the bottom, it'll wick you out. Okay. Um, give me a sec. Let me go to another feed, because for some reason this isn't AUD USD. Come on. AUD USD. Let me just go on Owanda. Okay. Yeah, I had the same thing marked up. Yeah, everything's going off right now. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, same thing for cells. All right, what was I doing? Let me go here. Fixed range. I just want to see the profile. There it is. Okay. Yeah. See, for me, this is just all manipulation because there are no orders. Look at that. 105311. So there are no orders in here. So for me, I don't feel comfortable. Let's go in here. Let's see. Yeah. Where's AU? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on this AU entry right now. I want to wait and see how Asian opens. Okay. So for a 1 pip spread, you ideally increase stop loss by 2 pips. Yeah. Yep, that's how it does. Which data feed are you using as your main? Uh, I've been using, well, okay, so my personal account is forex.com. So I have forex.com as my that's why I typically like to use forex.com. The problem with forex.com is they don't have any volume. So that's why I couldn't use the volume indicator. And under like volume, like if I try to see the volume that's going on, it gives me an error because they don't supply the volume to to TradingView. Okay. So, it is what it is. Sometimes it sucks. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna wait. I want to see how Asian opens because to me this isn't a true down candle because there was no orders in there. This was that 5 o'clock manipulation. All right. Um, yeah, yeah. Do you think it will create equal lows for future liquidity? Where equal lows where? Or what were you talking about there, Jake? My bad, man. I wasn't keeping up with the chat. All right. Well, I'm gonna set this here. I'm gonna look. I did that down candle that didn't mitigate much before heading up. Um, you talking about this one in here? The one above. Yeah, yeah. So the problem is this down candle, like when I looked at the volume profile, like there's no orders in there, there was no orders. So for me, it's yeah, I know. Freaking A, man. For me, like I don't trust it. I don't know if this is actually a down candle or not because there was no orders placed at that time. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Did AN come in there? Oh yeah, it's got a little more push to go. Yeah, it's got a little more push to go. All right, no biggie. All right, so that's that. Let's look at, I'm not even looking at BTC. I did have this, right? I did have this right here on Chef Japanese Yen. And look, the alert's going to go off. So we just took liquidity, right? You can see equal lows, just took liquidity. This is that last down candle, but because this is a break of structure, what I need to see now is I need us to see us slow down and build a schematic. Okay. I need to see us build a schematic. This was accumulation down here. We did take off from it. But this is now a break of structure, right? If it was one thing when we were here, I wanted to see us come down. Um, will we get a bounce from it? I'm pretty confident we will, but we did leave a ton of liquidity down here. This was a type 2 schematic, so we didn't get a spring, So at this point, like what I want to see is I want to see when we get down there, I want to see us build a schematic, right? If we can get in here, get that change of character, whether it's a spring or not, and then go up, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Um, okay, Euro odd. Let's talk about Euro odd, right? So Euro odd. Come on. All right. So Euro odd on the 4 hour, we are in a schematic, right? We had our first change of character, secondary test, right? And I was looking for reaccumulation, obviously, in here. All right. We never got it. Right? Never got it. But guess what? We are going to come up here to the top of the range. So once we get up here, you can see I have my alert set. Goodness. We have my alert set. And yeah, have my alert set. And I want to see distribution in here. If we can get distribution, right? If we can get distribution in here, all right, I want to sell it down to our secondary test in phase B. I'm only going to sell it down to the bottom end of the trading range. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to look for accumulation here, right? And either take it up to at least 50% of the trading range or to the top end of the trading range and decide whether or not it's going to come down for a spring. Okay. But EA, nothing right now. I would say maybe during London session, if we can get up here, London, New York session, look for distribution in here to take this down. All right. Because we are pretty clean on the schematic side. You could see, right? We've sold off. I was looking for that nice distribution in here. And then again in here. So we are at a really nice area. You could see there's tons, and this is why I personally think we are going to get a type 1 schematic, because you could just see the amount of liquidity that is just being thrown in here, right? You know, retail traders from all sorts are, look at this, right? I mean, this is just a huge support area, right? So I would envision, just like this happened here, I'm envisioning us getting us a spring. Can get some amazing ROI. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you look at it, this was the EA that I was trying to catch. Oh, it's over here. Just to give you an idea, right? Like, and this sucks, because this is what. Oh wait, no, that's nope. Hold on. It's under failed. There she is. 1113. Yeah. So this was EA, right? Just a top-down analysis, what I was looking at. All right, so this is obviously right when this was that first change of character right here, right? You could see the schematic, you could see these equal lows. So this is, for me, this was a logical area, right? This is a logical area for us to get that bounce, right? Because this is the trap, right? The traps that institutions are saying, because look, everyone's like, look, support, 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 right? We're going to come back down. Oh, look, support. We're going to come up here. We're going to come one more time. Oh, support. So that's the trap. And then that's where they they caught you with that spring, right? And that's obviously what I'm waiting for. So here was the schematic that I was looking at, right? Beautiful schematic, type 2. We didn't get the UTAD, but we did get the up thrust. I mean, just to these equal lows right here was a 13-1 off a 6 pip stop loss, right? That's what I was trying to catch right here. And then ultimately, we got a really nice reaction, but it just, we broke structure. It hit me break even, and then the stupid thing, you could see what happened, right? The thing just dropped, right? It was in here. The thing just dropped. So, EA, definitely look for some distribution, set your alerts. This is going to play out nicely, right? And then ultimately overall targets, whether or not we come up to like, well, that's been mitigated. Wow, that's a clean mitigation off the 4 hour right there. Whether we come up to like this 4 hour candle up here, or we take the highs, who knows? But that's something I'll manage once we get up there. The key for me though is just positioning myself in down here. And then, I'll worry about what I'm going to do when we get up to 600 pips, in profit. Okay. All right. So that's EA. EuroCAD. All right. So EuroCAD, this is something Zach was looking at. I was looking at it as well. So you could see I was trying to buy ECAD yesterday. Where is it? Down in here. So I did get in on it. I did get in right here at 50%. I took 50% of this last down candle right here. Almost got stopped out. It farted around for a little bit right here. And then finally we got the movement. And then I went to break even. Almost got hit break even here. Decided it was going to go, and I thought this was going to be the run. And then sure enough, it came right back up and hit me stop, stop profited out. So it is what it is. I was trying to take it higher. Let me give you what I'm, if you weren't on Zach's session, I'll just give you a quick breakdown, right? So this 4 hour candle is a point of interest right here. 4 hour candle, current price is right here. When we go into this 4 hour candle, it's pretty simple. Right? Just smart money, right? Equal highs, some liquidity. This was that FU candle. I looked and I like the 10-minute candle. That 10-minute candle right here is where all of the volume came to FU and take everybody out, and then to drop. All right. So I'll be looking at this 10-minute open as a potential entry. It's not unreasonable, right? It's only, it's 27 pips. I'm not going to be taking a limit order off of it. I'm going to wait for a schematic when we get up there. Okay. But in the interim, we have some equal highs. You could see looking for distribution once we get up there. I was looking to buy it up there because it's about 85 pips, right? And if I can catch 85 pips when I know where the market's going to go, I'll do it. obviously all of this is garbage. This was all of Asian and the front half of London session last night. So obviously this is just a crapshoot. There's nothing in here for me to look at. At this point, what I would be looking for, and even I was looking in here, but you could see this wick did a beautiful mitigation of that 1 hour candle, right? So at this point, what I'm going to be looking for is potentially on the smaller time frame. I am going to, regardless what needs to happen is we need to break a new high, right? So when we make a new high, right? When we make a new high, the potential entry I'm looking at is probably right here, right? Off of this 15-minute. Okay. And if you, if you just follow, right? I mean, I know this is all ugly, but here's the high and this is the new higher low, right? So once we break above, you would expect the market to give a retracement prior to getting into this H4 and then taking it up from there. Obviously, this for me has been mitigated because we can clearly see, right? This was that 1 hour candle that's been mitigated out. So this is, for me, this is the entry. Okay. But we need the new high to be created and then the pullback, and it just makes sense. I mean, that'll probably be like a 71, right? Just, obviously we can't be for, can't tell for sure, but well, even if it goes up there, it's a 78.6, right? So that's going to be in that prime area wherever the market decides to make a new high, that's in that 71 to 88.6 range that I'm going to be looking for. Okay. So ECAD, I'm going to be looking for a buy to take up to our sell. All right. And then obviously our sell is going to be off of that anywhere between like 56,200 and like 56.45. That's where I'm going to be looking. All right. Man, your GBP's just been a dud. I'm not even looking at anything currently. I'm just going to move this over to that. EU. All right. So EU, I was looking and I'm no longer looking just because the way price is moving now, but I was looking at an entry off this 30-minute open. But I wanted us to trade. I wanted us to kind of just go sideways and not come into this until London, right? I wanted to take this entry during London and not now. So for me, I'm just scrapping it. I'm not really looking at EU anymore. There's a bunch of other nice setups compared to this. All right. GJ. So GJ for me. Oh, that was just an accumulation that I didn't see. Somebody who took this one. Somebody took this GJ today, right? I think somebody did. I remember somebody posted in the Discord. It was a nice setup. But yeah, so higher time frame. My opinion is we're reaccumulating. I'm sorry, we're redistributing. Tagged, yeah. Oh, okay, good. We're redistributing. So at this point, what I'm looking for is I want to see the shakeout first. All right, we created that upthrust action. I want to see something like this play out, right? I want us to come here, shake out, come back up and create the UTAD, the test, and then down. Okay. That's what I want to see. Obviously this is a ways away. This range is ginormous. We're talking 100, almost 175 pips. All right. So higher time frame, that's what I think could happen. Now we're in the middle of the range. So when we get down here, right? When we get down in here, my goal is to look for accumulation. And then when we get up in here, right, I'm going to be looking for smaller time frame distribution. All right. You could see, right, I have my alert set on top and bottom. And then I'm just going to wait and see. I'm not going to look for accumulation here. I'm not going to look for distribution here. You know what I mean? So it's evident. I know, if you look at this 30-minute candle, this is my target, right? That's where, we need to come and mitigate this huge inefficient price action, right? Yeah, but here's the only thing, right? You're talking about like in here? Yeah, I don't want to trade it in the middle of the range though, you know? Yeah, I don't want to trade it in the middle of this range. That's just something I don't want to do. I'll wait for it to come down here, right? Which I'm pretty confident it will. GU, man, GU's just been stupid. I've been trying to sell GU. You could see, was it on the 1 minute? Yeah. So I started seeing some distribution, but it just did this, this throw up, So I'm not looking at it. I know Sam is still looking for the buy down here, and I know we're going to get there. That's why I want to sell it, right? We could see we have this 15-minute candle, 15-minute candle right here. Okay. That's my point of interest. And, obviously I have an alert set up here. When we get up there, same thing. I'm just going to move my box over, just move the box over, wait for distribution, because the reward for me is worth it. I can delete that. All right. To get down, I mean, we're talking 300 pips, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try to take advantage of that. All right. So for right now, that's nothing. Yeah. Well, I was looking at some that's why I've been bullish on UJ and UCAT, right? I was seeing some DXY has been doing a lot of accumulation on smaller time frames, and if it's going to translate to a bigger time frame run. So GA, I'll be honest, like I don't really trade GA and GN because of the spreads. Like what let me ask you, Jake, what is the spread on GA for you on your broker? Yes, CJ. Yeah, I'll see if I got anything on CJ. Yeah. Look real quick, because I just want to I want to give you like my insight on why I don't trade GN or GA. Yeah, Zach was looking at selling it from this 15. Me personally, I don't care about it. I'm not. I missed the sell on NJ. So I think we're going to come in here. Any pullbacks, I'll tell you right now, any pullbacks, I'm going to try and sell NJ. Realistically, the only thing I can think of is this 1 hour right here. Right. I'm going to set an alert too. That 1 hour personal account is Osprey. So what's the spread? Yeah. 2 pips. All right. That's not too bad. On my personal broker, it's 5. But even 2 pips sucks, because when you're trying to take an entry that's 3 pips and you got to add 4 pips to your entry, you realistically just cut your R to R in half, So that's honestly, you took so you actually caught a 1 to 113. Yeah, but how did you take a 1.6 pip stop loss if your spread is 2 pips? Yeah, but you should have added. You should add 4 pips. If your spread's 2 pips, you need to add 2 pips to your entry and then 2 pips to your stop loss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't trade GN or GA on my personal account. There's sometimes that GN is like 6 pips, and I'm trying to take an entry with a 4 pip stop loss. I'm like, it's just not worth it to me. When I can catch a UCAD, I can catch UCAD that has like a 3 pipette spread and go 30 pips off a 3 pip spread, or a 3 pip entry, and I'm up a 1 to 10. And I think the analogy, or the thing I used was, I think was GA. I think it was GA. I don't know if I still have it on here. But yeah, like GN. Oh yeah, look at this. It's still gunning. It never broke. It never jumped the creek, man. But yeah, the analogy, actually, it wasn't here. It was this GN right here. This entire accumulation on GN was something like a 1 to 12 because of the stop loss that you needed to use on it, where I went half the time on a I don't remember what I used, but I think it was like EJ, which was like a 1 pip spread. Um, and I was able to catch half the pips with a higher R to R. So that's just why I don't trade GN or EN, because the spreads for me personally are just way too high. All right, SPX 500. I'm just going down my list here. So this is reaccumulation for me, right? It just sucks that it's this time of night, and I don't like to trade this at this time of night. I like to trade it London crossover, like 5 a.m. Eastern for me, into New York session, right? But we had a really, really ugly, ugly schematic here. But we did develop a creek, right? We came in and you can see the manipulation that was done here, right? If in a perfect world, I would use the 30-minute candle as my entry, but I can't do that because the spread or the risk to reward is just not worth it for me, right? Because I would have to account for 16 points on S&P 500. And even off the 15-minute open, my it's a 9.5, and I have a half a point spread. So I'm talking about 10.5 points um, as a stop loss, and I'm only targeting the top end of this range. You already see this is a 4.7 to 1 ROR. For me, like I'm not even taking this trade right now. I don't even plan on taking the trade because for me, I need it to have at least a 5 to 1. um and it just doesn't, it's too big of it's not worth the reward for me to risk my capital on it. But the reaccumulation is pretty clear. And you can see, I even think it may be reacting off of the open of that. But it broke structure, right? We came in, we broke above this previous higher higher high, right? Higher high, low, and then, or I'm sorry, lower high, and then we broke structure. So it made sense. That was a confirmation I wanted to see. Jump the creek, break structure, come back into the down candle that took liquidity, right? The institutional move, and then up we go. Same thing for U30, but the only problem with U30 is whether you consider this as the lower high or any of this. I would say that this is the structure that's holding it, and you can see that we never broke that structure. So even for U30, though, it's a 95 point stop loss. I mean, I'm typically using, anywhere from like, 25 to 40. How about the target imbalance on the 30-minute? I don't take imbalance entries. What target imbalance are you talking about? Oh, my TP? My TP. No, no, my on US 30? No, no. TP all day is these equal highs. TP is all day going to be these equal highs. You know, on SP. Uh no, because I'll tell you right now, like this reacted off of, let's see. I mean, that's the 1 hour. That's the 1 hour. I mean, that'll add a little bit, but it's still for me. I mean, the move is happening now, and I don't trade it at this time of day. I mean, that is, yeah, it's like a 6 to 1. Um, what is this thing doing? Oh yeah, this thing's at entry. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm not taking it now. Um, but yeah, so that's indices. I mean, I'll look at it tomorrow morning to see what we're doing. Um, I really would have liked to have gotten this move, today, but it just sucks. Like I didn't trade it today. I didn't catch any of it. For me, there was just no entry. You know, um, even this LPS entry, like look at all this inefficiency up here. Like I would never in a million years take that entry just because the risk, right? The risk is 157 point or 15 points on the S&P, So there was just no entry for me today on it. Um, let's look at, what was the other one? We did UCAD. Again, we did break above, so I'm going to be looking off of this during London and New York. And the only other thing I'm personally looking at, let me just see what we had in here. So UJ, right? UJ, 4-hour UJ, really nice schematic, right? Yeah, I got NU on here as well. UJ right here, really nice schematic. We have a really nice creek. Okay. This was the spring. I've been looking for accumulation in this imbalance. Oh, um, this is where I wanted to see us accumulate. All right. And, I wanted to see us dip down a little more. Actually, you can see we are. Yeah, we are. Okay. So I would just now, this area, this imbalance area is where I'm going to be looking for accumulation. All right. We accumulated in here. I was thinking if we were going to reaccumulate, right? We did shake out, but we never came back above to get an entry. All right. So I would be looking for buys anywhere, in this, you know, 30 pip range right in here. Okay. Um, it just makes sense. This is the imbalance. This is on the higher time frame. This was the spring, and we're just testing the spring. So if we go, if you want to find like realistically, let's just say like 50%, 50% of the entire candle length that took liquidity is sitting around 103.85, So anywhere in this imbalance is where I'm going to be looking. All right. Um, no, I got nothing on that. And NU. Okay. So NU, NU on the 4-hour, right? We're in phase A, right? We're in phase A. So I really was trying to find some accumulation, but it just was ugly. I mean, there was just nothing there. AU looked cleaner, right? This just didn't build a schematic for me. All right. Um, I do have this 15-minute candle highlighted. Um, there's really no right now. I'm not putting a pending on it or anything. Now, if there's reason to, like say, we come up and do this, right? Say we come up and do this and then trade back down. Well, now we'll have some liquidity sitting up here. That'd be potentially the play to take it off the 15 to come down. Okay. But right now it's just a point of interest. I have nothing that really gives me any confidence to take a trade. Now we did make a low, right? We did make a low and we did react off the 15-minute candle, right? So my next step is if we create a new low, all right, try to find something. And all of this is kind of just do this whole whatever teacup you want to call it. Everything in here is just ugly, you know. You know, part of me just wants to put a small lot size and just hit sell with the stop loss up here, just let it ride down. Yeah, exactly. Teacup. But I mean, realistically, we know where this is going. All right already. We know where this is going. We're gonna come in for our either we're going to come to a minor sign of weakness or we're just going to come to test the bottom end of the trading range, trade back up to create that up thrust, 50%, whether we create that UTAD test LPSY and go down. So that's ultimately what I'm looking for on NU. It's there, it's present. You could see I've done, we still have a market gap from Sunday market open that needs to be filled. Can you imagine all those people that are that were shorting the market here or here that are still holding drawdown to say that they were going to close the gap, you know? So this is what I'm looking at. Ideally I'd like to see NU come down, but we're still very early, right? This is only phase A, okay, on NU. Gold, let's talk about gold, right? My buddy Sam here tells me, he's like, "Hey Mike, man, that was a nice distribution on gold today." So apparently nobody decided. Every day I hear, hey, what's gold doing? What's gold doing? Nobody decided to talk about gold today, and I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at it. So the entry was off the 10-minute, right? Entry was off the 10-minute. Now, why did I select the 10-minute? So when you look at it, and this is just something that I've back tested, and you know, this is how I decide what candle I'm going to use, right? So let's just start with the 45-minute, right? So the 45-minute, the UTAD, that's a wick, right? That's nothing. On the 30-minute, right, you could see that it's really not a full body candle. What we're looking for is the candle that had the entire volume in the market. Okay, now that 15-minute would be ideal, right? That 15-minute would be ideal, and you would have gotten you would have gotten filled, right? There's the 15-minute open. Okay. But if I see like on the I'm sorry, the 5-minute. So on the 5-minute, right, we could see that. All right. Go to the 10-minute, and you can see all it is just the 2 5-minute candles. Okay. What I like to do is when I see that, those 2 consecutive candles like that, I'll just take 50% of that candle. Right. And you can see that's exactly what it did, 50%. All right. So the 10-minute candle to me is where you really see, I mean, it's, you call it whatever, a Mariposa candle, there's no wicks to either side. This was just all buying power. So that's what I want to find. And when we see that, that's the candle that needs to get mitigated out of. You can see we break below it, come back to 50% of the candle, mitigate out, and off to the races she goes, you know. And it was a really nice, it was only a 25 pip stop loss, really nice on gold, and I would be targeting at least this low right here, you know. As it is, you'd be sitting at almost a 5-to-1 right now, you know. But yeah, that's a really pretty schematic. That was super clean, super clean. Um, so that was gold. And I think that's pretty much it. Anybody else looking at anything? Um, Part of my reasoning too for UCAD and ECAD buys, and I was also looking at ACAD buys, was oil, right? Um, I'm expecting oil. You could see we reacted really nicely off that daily open right here, right? That daily candle. And I'm expecting us now to trade back down to at least this candle right here. Some oil weakening would mean that CAD weakens. So that's kind of what I was looking at. And I think, Sam, you told me to look at CAD JPY, right? I don't even have that up. Do you have something on it? I'd be looking for sells, but I was looking to sell it from here. This is where I wanted to sell it, but we just moved so far away from it. Right. That candle right here, you could see equal highs. The agenda was there. I wanted to see us come up and trade down. Um, uh, I'll look at BTC. Yeah. Then smash the, but yeah. 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 I honestly, like, I don't see anything yet. For all I know, we can come right back down to this 4 hours still, you know? Yeah. Look at that. Which candle? The 4 hour? This one here? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I was looking for accumulation down there. So I would like to sell it down. It makes no sense to let the market go 150 some pips without us, but realistically, maybe something in here, I don't know. Oh, this was today, right? Yeah, this was today. If we could find something like what did this accomplish? Like this was obviously a mitigation play. You said the 15. What's the 15? Yeah, but I want to know what this, right? We have to, in order for me to figure out what we're going to play off of, I need to know what did that react off of? Like, why did we come to 83.45 and then drop, you know? So that's what I got to investigate, because it's one thing if it's a news spike. We all know that the news moves is just the excuse to move. But I want to find out what exactly we mitigated. Um, Imbalance. No. Yeah. But it's got to be they're not just mitigating imbalance. There's got to be a buy to sell. There's got to be something. Um, we just it's just something I'm gonna have to find. Oh, really? Looks like so never triggered, right? Um, let's take a look at AN real quick. Oh yeah, look at that. Looky. Yep. Yeah. So ideally, I mean, obviously we don't have to measure this, but this was definitely more than a 38.2. So that is our preliminary support. And so we've established our selling climax. Now we just got to establish the trading range. So, right. We'll see if this holds, right? Right now, temporarily, this will be the automatic reaction, selling climax, secondary test. And up thrust action. And I will be so freaking pissed if this just leaves. I will be so flipping pissed. But yeah, so we had essentially our change of character, right? What am I looking at on EU? Nothing. Yeah. EU to me, yeah, bad. It's just the bad timing. Like to me, I'm just going to let it. If I can't make up my mind what it's doing, I'm not going to play with it. So yeah, this needs to come all the way back down immediately. So yeah, and let me move. I'll move this up a little right here, just because I want to see when we trade back in. So for right now, yeah, that's AN. We're building the schematic on the 1 minute. Ideally, we need to trade back for a secondary test in B, come to at least 50% of the range, spring, break up whatever, structure we have, mitigate out of that spring, and then up we go, or come down for the STMB, break out of the trading range, come back to mitigate on an LPS entry, and up we go. So those are our entries. So I got my alert there if we come back for secondary test in B. I didn't take this either on ACAD. We are getting a really nice reaction to it though, damn it. It is what it is, It is what it is. All right, no biggie. Is no change of character is, well, you can say it's the first break of structure, but it's the best way to describe the change of character is, when you're driving your car and you need to come to a stop sign, right? The first change of character is when you step on your brakes is you're starting to slow down, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to see price slowing down. All right. What, right here on ACAD? No, I'm not going to market execute. No. No, because that's already 5 pips. That's 5 pips. So realistically, where my first targets would have been was right here, which was a 5-to-1, right? A 5-to-1. Realistically, it just went to a 2.5-to-1. So it's not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I'm looking at. Oh, BTC, we said what, 5 minute? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Looky this. Looky, man. I like this. I like this. I'm telling you, man, I've been trading crypto a lot more. Um, and honestly, the only reason I really started trading crypto more is because it just gave me more practice at drawing schematics, right? Um, like because when I was doing my Wyckoff training and learning and stuff, I did it most of the time on the weekend when the market was closed. Well, what's the only market that's open on the weekends that I can do live analysis, and like I did a bunch of demo trades with it and stuff. So I just started trading crypto, you know, and for me, like KOT Forex is the broker I use. I mean, you can't. It's a 1 pip spread on XRP. It's like a 6 pip spread on BTC. So honestly, I have no idea, man. Yeah, but like everyone says they're slow. Like here, to be honest, like I traded last Christmas. I traded the week of Christmas. I mean, yes, certain pairs were slower, but I mean, I'll have to look for my US 30, like payouts. Like I made a lot of money on indices during Christmas time. Um, it's like I don't. I'll tell you right now, the reason I'm shutting down my trading for the holidays is because I've made decent profits for the year, and like I just want to be with my family. I don't want to be getting up for London crossover anymore. Like I just want to be able to sleep in and not have to worry about anything. So that's honestly why like I'm personally just gonna be shutting down for a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely, man. Yeah, there are. I'm not convinced yet this is an upthrust, but I'm just going to label it as such, and we'll see. Um, yeah, like I said, I personally like maybe the first week of December I'll be done. You know, I might just trade my FTMO account. We'll see. Um, and obviously, yeah. So preliminary supply, right? Schematic is there. So this is how I trade. So now I'm just going to set my alert, right? That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about anything else other than creating a true upthrust. You know, um, why do I use it? Because this is the closest price to KOT Forex, which is my broker. So that's why I use Bitfinex. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Um, man, this sucks that this is right here. Whatever, man. It is what it is. Damn it. All right. Um, Yeah, and XRP, yeah, I was trying to catch XRP, but you could see the stupidity, man. It was ugly. Like I started here and now this is done. I'm not looking at it anymore. All right. So that's pretty much all I have. Anybody else have anything else they want to look at? Anything you want to clarify? If not, I'm gonna call it a night. I'll be up for London, but um it's like I said, it's been one of those weeks where it's been a ton of break evens, and I did have a decent trade on what did I have? I had two trades. I'll have to look. Oh, ACAD. ACAD was one that I caught last night that I took some partials on. Um, yeah, off this candle right here. It was this trade right here. Took it up to the high, closed out half. I was looking for a continuation, but we just never gave it. So ACAD was a nice. Um, I still think this is going to come down though. The fact that we did this right, we had equal highs here, and we FU'd it and came down and broke structure. Right, that's kind of why I'm not looking at it because I wanted to see us break structure, um, and we really didn't. So for me, this is honestly turning in to distribution instead of reaccumulation. Like this started off as reaccumulation in here, the shakeout. Um, but if you look at it from, if we look at it like this, just move it over, right? This is, you can have multiple secondary tests, so this could be a secondary test. This could be this is our UTAD, our up thrust, our secondary test. All right, I know. Obviously this was the test, LPSY, right? So for me, this is just a really elongated distribution schematic now. The fact that, we shouldn't have come this. If we came this far, then the bias on reaccumulation was off, you know, and where I really wanted to sell was up here. All right. All right, bro. Absolutely, Julio, man. Take a good one. Awesome, man. Awesome. Um, Awesome. All right. Yep. If no one else has anything else, man, I am going to call it a night. Like I said, I've got some pendings, and it's just wait and see. We'll see what else we get into. All right. If there's nothing else, you guys enjoy. And if you guys want to review this video, like I'll put it up on YouTube probably in the morning once it's done converting. All righty. Um, if there's nothing else, I'll catch you guys later, man.